There is not one set of laws for the powerful and another for the powerless, one for the rich and another for the poor, one for Democrats and another for Republicans. Our job is not to take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else. I am not the president's lawyer. I will add, I am not Congress's prosecutor.
Well, that was Attorney General Merrick Garland, who was fumbling quite a lot this week. He was also going on defense. A lot of incoming coming at him during his contentious hearing before the House Judiciary Committee, insisting his Justice Department is by the book and down the middle. But do the facts actually support that statement? Joining us now is New York Republican Congresswoman and member of the House Ways and Means Committee, Claudia Tenney. We're so happy to have you here, Congresswoman. You know, what do you make of the Attorney General saying, no, there's no politics? I thought it was one of the most stunning testimonies this week. I've seen a lot of Capitol Hill hearings, and this one, he was bobbing and weaving, and I don't know, I can't recall. I don't think he did a very impressive job after that. What were your thoughts?
I agree with you 100%, Rita. He was reading prepared notes from staff. He obviously looks like a person who's not in charge of the Attorney General's office. He's taking orders from someone else, probably the Biden team, and Biden team is taking orders from someone else too. The staff is running the show, and they're running a weaponized government against anyone who doesn't comply with their political views. And it's so clear, as a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, it was my chairman, Jason Smith, who actually created the whistleblower portal for the IRS, and those two brave whistleblowers came out, not political people, by the way. One was even a Democrat, who said this is wrong, what's happening, and they gave explosive testimony and revealed just the beginnings of the Biden family crime scheme. And that's what we saw, and the testimony is going to continue to come out. But what we saw out of the Attorney General under the guidance of Merrick Garland was a slow walking of our ability to get this evidence, blocking by an Attorney General, a U.S. Attorney General assistant named Leslie Wolf, who said, oh, we can't touch the big guy, basically Joe Biden. We actually lost the ability to get evidence from a storage unit out in Virginia because Merrick Garland's team interfered. So the IRS whistleblowers said, we need to get to this storage unit. We know we have suspicious activity reports coming out of Chairman James Comer's oversight committee that reveals a web of bank accounts, corrupt entities put together by the Biden family. And honestly, my belief is this. Everyone says, well, we're going to get Hunter Biden. It's all about Joe using his family, his son, who obviously has grave drug problems and other issues, to enrich himself and his family. We know that there was the explosive testimony that came out of Tony Bobulinski, 10% for the big guy. We saw the FBI informant talking about what Victor Shulkin had revealed from Burisma, you know, that there was $5 million that went to Joe and $5 million that went to Hunter. Where is that money, and how did they hide it? How does Joe, a career politician, live in such a grandiose way, multi-million-dollar homes, cars, the lifestyle of the rich and famous, but yet he's been a politician since the day he got out of law school.
And
so
by the way,
this is the kind of stuff that leads it. Yep, go ahead.
You know, you're bringing up a great point, because a lot of people are juxtaposing that with what we've seen just in the last few hours of what happened to the powerful chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. We're talking about Robert Menendez. I want to get your take on that, because do you see parallels? The charges, by the way, for the Menendezes, this is him and his wife, they include conspiracy to commit bribery, conspiracy to commit honest services fraud, extortion. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They raided his home, and they discovered a jacket stuffed with $100 bills in his closet, gold bars. How do you see parallels here? Because you could make the case what they're looking into, what you guys are looking into on Capitol Hill with the Bidens, that shell companies, maybe you could replace the Mercedes that the Menendez got for a Corvette with the Bidens. I mean, how do you see this all? A lot of people are saying, well, wait a minute. Are there two cases that maybe are similar, but just different mechanisms to get the money? That seems like the allegations, at least on the Biden side, that's being looked into.
I think they're very similar, only I think, believe it or not, the Biden case is worse. It is using money from enemies or corrupt countries like Burisma, a corrupt energy company, China, using an energy company in China, Romania, Serbia. There's actually literally dozens of company or countries across the world that the Bidens used, and it's very similar. The theft of honest services, bribery, all those schemes that we've seen coming out of these are all impeachable offenses, by the way. I do think the difference here is this: the Democrats have a problem. It's all about power at the executive level. Senator Menendez is expendable. They can let him go because they're going to get another Democrat probably elected in New Jersey. They can't give up the controls of the police power they have to the FBI and the DOJ if we were to actually bring down someone like Joe Biden. That's the critical difference. You're dealing with a senator who can be replaced by another Democrat, and you're dealing with Joe Biden, who could be replaced possibly by President Trump, who they're doing everything they can to cook up charges against him that are not legitimate, that are not this true theft of services, bribery, money laundering, all the things that are happening with the Biden family on a grand scale. I think, in my estimation, probably the worst that you have ever seen. We talk about Watergate. You know, Richard Nixon didn't actually commit the crimes. There were people that worked for him that did. There was a cover-up. But we have Joe Biden committing crimes through his family, using his vulnerable family members, by the way. What a wonderful guy he is. And then taking that money and using that influence that he has, and then committing the cover-up on top of it, using our FBI, our DOJ, that is supposed to be representing us. And Merrick Garland does not respect the fact that the Department of Justice is being used by Joe Biden to protect them. They've slow-walked a number of our claims, actually valid claims that we have against Hunter Biden on tax evasion. And they've allowed the statute of limitations to expire because Merrick Garland has slow-walked this evidence and our ability to get the evidence we need to prove that we have impeachable offenses. Remember, one of the most frustrating things to explain to the public is, as members of Congress, we only have subpoena power. We can bring people forward, but we cannot, and we can make criminal referrals. We cannot prosecute. And that's the frustrating thing. We have got to rely on a Biden Department of Justice under corrupt, dirty cop Merrick Garland, the Department of Justice, other members, the FBI. Those are the people that have to prosecute, and they refuse to do it because they're protecting Joe Biden.
Well, yeah, a lot of roadblocks there. It's going to be interesting because, of course, the inquiry hearings start this week, and everybody will be watching. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, great to have you here. We always love having you. Thank you.